So, how is the new Toyota doing so far? If you're new to the channel, I'm talking about the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This particular one is the TRD Sport. And I had said when I think I did one of these already, that I was going to give you guys kind of more of a continuous update on the truck because it is a brand new redesigned model, right? Now, we're approaching about 300 miles. We're going to be over 300 miles by the time I'm done with this video. So I thought, yeah, it's a good round number. Good time to come on and let you guys know how things are. And there is something quirky with this truck. I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But first of all, let me say, I love this truck. I still love this truck. And again, in my opinion, it is the best version of the Toyota Tacoma so far. Again, not knocking the third gen. I love the third gen, but this simply is another step forward, as you hope any brand would do as the brand evolves, right? Or the model in this case. Any problems with it? I haven't had any problems with it at all so far. Everything has been spot on, fantastic. The couple of issues that, of course, we've heard about with the new truck, TFL, I guess, had a differential problem. And really, I'm not sure that they actually went through the break-in period on that truck, so they might share a little blame there, although not in my opinion. No truck should have the kind of failure they had regardless, but nonetheless. Secondly, that grill shutter thing, there are shutters in the grill, and I'm sure that has something to do with engine temperature, probably because of the turbo, who knows, but they will open and close, and there have been, I think I've heard of 2 reports of those shutters failing, and I've heard 2 reasons why. One, that the sensor went bad and that it wasn't telling it what to do. And secondly, that the hinges or hardware on them had rusted when they got wet. I don't know if either one is valid. I think I would lean more towards the sensor problem. I haven't had that issue with mine. Everything is functioning properly. No shutter problems or anything crazy like that. Fuel economy. Right now, and I'm looking at the gauge, I'm getting 18.5 miles per gallon. That's pretty darn good. Although, I'm about to do something with this truck that I'm sure is probably going to make that number a little bit lower. We'll see how much it really matters. And by the way, speaking of fuel economy, this truck had the air dam, chin strap, whatever you want to call it, across the front, made the truck look hideous. Just a horrible look for the truck, I think. I removed it on mine, and there was something going around the web, always, that if you remove that air dam, you're going to lose 5 miles per gallon. I have not noticed any reduction in fuel economy, and for that matter, the fuel economy in this truck continues to go up. I expect to be somewhere in the 19, maybe even get to 20 mile per gallon range before it levels off. And that, of course, is just basically city-type driving. This truck doesn't get a lot of freeway driving, and that's primarily because of the stones that fly up. I try to avoid the freeways because the first day, within the first hour after I bought this truck, I had to take the freeway to get home, and a rock hit my windshield. I'm looking at it right now. I fixed it, but you, of course, can still see the little area that it happened in. It's a bummer. So, never going to get a lot of freeway driving in this truck, I don't think, just to protect it. That's really the only reason. I'm sure the fuel economy would go up. I suspect I'd be probably in the low 20s, 22 to 23 miles per gallon, something like that, if I spent more time on the freeway. Not really a big deal. Comfort, you can't beat this truck. I mean, comparing this one, which I've done a few times already, I know, to the third gen, this is just so much better. So kudos to Toyota for the suspension change they made, what they've added to this truck. I mean, you just can't beat it. It is freaking fantastic. Now, fit and finish, I haven't had any issues with that either. I've always managed to find something, and not because I look with a fine-tooth comb, but just in washing trucks and stuff like that, I always find something wrong, either paint chips or misalignment of parts. You know, there were a couple of issues, and still are, on the third gens with hood alignment and then rear bumper alignment, kind of spacing between the bumper and the tailgate in the back. Haven't noticed anything like that on this truck. I am going to look a little bit closer than I have already. The only caveat I would put to fit and finish is the flexing of the hood. The hood does bounce around and flex a little bit. I can see it right now. We are on a bumpy road. It's the only kind of strange thing. And I don't know if it's because Toyota went to a lighter hood, which they did, by the way. This hood is quite a bit lighter than what we had before. I don't know that it's a problem. It's just something that you notice and something that is different than the third gen. Something to get used to, I guess. Comfort-wise, I already mentioned comfort on the interior in addition to ride quality. One thing that I want to point out, I do have the manual seats. It's one thing that Toyota is now putting in a package, even in the TRD version. But I haven't had any issues with this truck. Even though I had the automatic seats, the 10-way power adjustables in the third gen, I still had to put a seat jacker in because the front part of the seat, right under the bottom of your thigh, I could not get that high enough so that my leg didn't feel like it was dropping off the seat, right? I don't notice that with these manual seats. And maybe it's just the difference between manual seats and electric seats. I don't know. So I'd be curious, if you've got the new Tacoma with electric seats, how is that front thigh support underneath your leg? Do you feel like it kind of drops down or not so much? I just wonder if Toyota has changed that. And frankly, I kind of doubt that they did. I mean, the seats, there is more bolstering. You do fit in here a little bit tighter, but generally, you know, they're not that much different. And I'm sure Toyota didn't reinvent their electric seats. So I'd just be curious to know about that. Now, this quirky thing I was talking about, this is really odd. You know, and I don't know if it's this or not, but a lot of times after you bring your truck home and you turn it off, park it for a while, you'll hear like a fan running or something. And that is the fuel pump equalizing the pressure in the gas tank. It's a normal thing. It happens off and on throughout the day, every day, as pressure, I assume, increases in the fuel tank. What I'm noticing now is kind of, it's almost like a grunt kind of thing. It almost sounds like some kind of wild animal making a noise. It's really odd, and I notice it after I have started the truck, driven it, backed it up, whatever, turn it off, and it sits for a couple of minutes, and then 2, 3, 4 times, I notice this whoop, kind of whoop. I don't know if I'm doing it justice, but that kind of a noise, it's very strange. Since I keep hearing it, and someone else mentioned recently about a noise they're getting when they put their truck in park, I'm assuming it's the same noise. I'm not positive. But I think it's just inherent to this truck, and I think it's some kind of a sensor or resetting sound. Maybe it's those shutters opening and closing. I don't know. But it's something I've never heard before in the Toyota Tacoma. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on that going forward. So that's it. That's my 300 mile now update. Love the truck. It's freaking awesome. And if you're in the market, or maybe you've got the itch, you got to give it a try. At least go give it a test drive. I mean, if you test drive it and you just don't like it, well, then that's fair. You know, we all have our opinion. But you can't make up your mind until you take it for a ride, right? Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the new 2024, particularly if you have actually driven the truck. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.